The Illuminati was founded on May 1st, 1776, in Bavaria. Today it's a part of Germany. The society's goals were to oppose superstition, religious influences over public life, and abuses of state power. They were eventually outlawed, with great influence from the Catholic Church, in 1784. The group was generally looked down upon by conservative and religious critics, who were claiming that the Illuminati continued and were responsible for the French Revolution. They've been gone for 300 years. As soon as I go to the NSA website, which is America's National Security Agency, I type in Illuminati and it says, sorry, no results found for Illuminati, clearly pointing to the fact that they are hiding something. I'm just kidding. It's another conspiracy podcast. What's good, gang? How are we doing today? My name is Dylan. Hopefully you guys are ready to chill, because you're going to be chilling with Dylan for the next 30, 40 minutes, however long we decide to go. And yeah, what's good? It's been a week. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, that was a day ago when I'm recording this, so happy Thanksgiving. If you don't, you should still be thankful. Tell somebody you love them. Be grateful for something. It's good for the spirit. If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening to the podcast on YouTube, follow up the Spotify in the link down below. You can plug it in your car. You can plug it in while you're working out, literally anything. You can listen to me talk about anything we do. It's a vibe. We love chilling with me, and I'm the best person to chill with, so send it. You feel me? And of course, one last plug, then we'll get officially into this podcast. My Instagram is Dylan Dalton for the Spotify listeners, DYLANDALTON _. Once again, DYLANDALTON _. Follow up on there. Send me some questions you want me to answer in this podcast. Send me some topics I should discuss. Send me literally anything, and I'll look over it, and maybe we'll talk about it on this podcast. So to give us more stuff to talk about. But anyways, the Illuminati. Everyone's heard of them. It's another one of those conspiracies that everyone knows about. And it caught my attention because I've heard about the Illuminati. There used to be memes back in the day with this sound. And everyone would always say Illuminati confirmed, Illuminati confirmed. And it got me thinking. I know about the general concept about what it is, and I've researched a few things before this podcast, but I really wanted to dive into it today and see exactly what the Illuminati stood for, if they still stand, and why exactly they're on the dollar bill, because that one always sketches me out. Because on an American dollar bill, on the backside, there's a pyramid with a gigantic eye in it, and underneath it has some writing in a different language. I don't currently have a dollar bill on me, but we need to figure out what that means. Let's get into it. So as I was saying earlier, the Illuminati is a name given to several groups, both real and fictitious. Historically, the name usually refers to the Bavarian Illuminati, an Enlightenment-era secret society founded on May 1st, 1776 in Bavaria, today a part of Germany. 1776, May 1st, founded in Germany. I gotta look real quick. When was the Declaration of Independence signed? Okay, so it was signed on August 2nd, 1776, but it was adopted in July 4th, 1776. That's why we celebrate the 4th of July, but that's when the Declaration was signed. The Illuminati was founded May 1st, so a month before the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The American colonies at the time, the British colonies of America, were already in talks, already starting to oppose their government, already looking to overthrow them, and they probably opposed religious influence over public life and abuses of state power, just as the Illuminati did. They say, we're done with these taxes. They throw the tea into the Boston Harbor, and we meet together, form the Continental Congress, and decide to go to war with Britain. Everyone knows it. It's history. It's lit. But right before America does that, the Illuminati happens a month previously in Bavaria. It would take probably more than a month to sail on a ship across the ocean. I would assume it'd take a month and a half to get anywhere back in that day on boats. So no one could really sail to America from May 1st until July 4th and kind of whisper in their ear. There could have been some talks amongst America and Bavaria. Maybe they were saying, we both hate our governments. Let's form the secret society. Let's take over the world, form the new world order. In our view, I guess, right? Maybe America had nothing to do with it, but it is kind of interesting to realize that the Illuminati was founded a month before America was founded. And not only were they around at the exact same time, their motto was the order of the day. And they wanted to put an end to the machinists of the purveyors of injustice, to control them without dominating them. The Illuminati, along with the Freemasonry, other secret societies, we've heard of them, were outlawed through edict by Charles Theodore, Elector of Bavaria, with the encouragement of the Catholic Church, which back in that day ruled everything, in 1784, 1785, 1787, and 1790. During the years following, the group was generally vilified by conservative and religious critics who claimed that the Illuminati continued underground and were responsible for the French Revolution. They were founded at the same time America rebelled, but eventually they were taken out and America continued because what can I say, we're goats. And people who were skeptics back then, who still had conspiracy theories, still thought they were around because they were popping back in the day, so why wouldn't they still be there? They were responsible for the French Revolution. Their entire goal was to overthrow governments that were corrupt, which is the same thing as America, right? Dealing with the King of England, and back then every government was corrupt. They still are today, but we just kind of We're more okay with it now, I guess. And yeah, they split. French Revolution happened. America helped with the French Revolution. So I can really see how Americans and the world still believes in the New World Order, the Illuminati. It is confirmed, as always. We love that meme. Let's continue. Many influential intellectuals and progressive politicians counted themselves as members, including Ferdinand of Brunswick and the diplomat Franz Xaver von Zech, who was the order's second in command. It attracted literary men such as Johann Wolfgang von Goethe and Johann Gottfried Herder, and the reigning Duke of Gotha and of Weimar. A lot of important people here, right? I've heard a few of these names. Wolfgang sounds like Mozart. Is that his name? Wolfgang Beethoven. Wolfgang von Beethoven. Yeah. But it had a lot of people. It was pretty big back in the day. I guess it can sort of be viewed as a political party almost. Maybe like an early day for that country, Republican or Democrat, just to put a comparison on it. It was obviously still secret, but it had a lot of people involved while believing the same thing. Kind of like America's Minutemen, probably, and the militias, I would assume. But the Illuminati today are depicted as lurking in the shadows and pulling the strings and levers of power. This view of the Illuminati has found its way into popular culture, appearing in dozens of novels, films, television shows, and now podcasts. So that's our backstory. The Illuminati has disappeared completely, as we think, as we know, as they've said, right? We go into about 1921, I believe it is, and we get a pyramid with an eye on the dollar bill. This lady named Ginny Cochran was asked by an interviewer about the pyramid on the dollar bill, and her reply, the pyramid had something to do with the Masons, and I know it goes farther back than that. Very interesting. Some of our founding fathers were Masons, and the eyes became a Masonic symbol, but it was actually added by an engraver who wasn't a Mason. The official term, I guess, is that it's the eye of providence, the eye of God in some general way. Bill Ellis, a professor emeritus of American Studies at Penn State, said the pyramid was seen as a kind of human structure that lasted out the ages, because if you think about it, the pyramid has been a long rounder than we have as a century. We're in the year 2022. If we go back to zero and then go back the other way into the negatives, the pyramid was built in 3000 something BC. So the pyramid has been around for over 5,000 years, but has been alive even longer than modern day history. The birth of Christ until now, Egypt still lived longer than that. So I guess everyone kind of models after Egypt. Rome followed after that. America is founded on Roman principles. Everyone knows what Egypt is. And he also adds that the founding fathers wanted this country to last as long as Egypt, because as I said, Egypt is basically the godfather of all countries. Everyone looks up to it. I would assume I do. Egypt is sick. And because of that, in 1935, FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, added them to the dollar. And so not only was it the eye and the pyramid, in Latin, it actually reads New Order, not New World Order, but right underneath the pyramid, if you look on your dollar bill, it says New Order. And historians say that it refers to the birth of a new country, and FDR liked the way it jived with his New Deal. The words New Order on the dollar bill were a signal that the US government had been taken over by evil forces. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was also the only president to be in office for more than 2 terms. It was during World War II, and he was in office from 1933 until his death in 1945. And if you want to know something even scarier about that I'm not going to make into a conspiracy theory, but Adolf Hitler from Germany, he was in office from 1933 to 1945 as well. Not saying they have anything in common. We hate Hitler just as much as the next guy, but it is kind of wild, especially in a podcast about conspiracy theories. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, 1933 to 1945, he started in the Great Depression, one of America's worst times, and then had to deal with World War II. He had to deal with the fallout of World War I and then go right back into a war. And Americans decided to keep him in there for 3 terms. And the only reason this is kind of wild and how many dots are there, because I really can relate to the conspiracy theory a little bit. By no means do I believe in the Illuminati, but I definitely am not discounting their existence, because 1933, 1945, for 2 leaders in the world at that time, minted on the dollar bill, meaning New Order, getting ready for his New Deal. It looked good. And he was in there for 3 terms. So if the Illuminati got 2 leaders at the exact same time, and one of them stayed in power for the 3rd, when that's completely inconsistent with the rest of American history, and the other one was a dictator, does kind of look a little sketchy. I'm not gonna lie. The parallels really can't lie. A world going to war, as soon as this comes into play, 3 terms here, an actual full-blown dictator, and then someone who could be viewed as a dictator, I guess. Good versus evil, complete and true, because conspiracy theory or not, Hitler was a bastard. We hate him, but it definitely makes you think a little bit. And since the original group was in 1776 until today, conspiracy theorists will do literally anything to come up with something. They'll claim that we're in a simulation, that Earth is flat, moon landing conspiracy, all of these. And so it's kind of gotten skewed over the years. The very first person was in 1828. It was the Anti-Masonic Party. And the Freemasons were a main focal point of paranoia in America at that time. And some people think that the Freemasons in America are somehow related to the Illuminati just because how much people were scared of Freemasons back then. But in the 1970s until now, people have talked about it in movies. People have made books about them and just kind of playing out the conspiracy theory, I guess, kind of making it bigger than it is. And they believe the Illuminati is intermingled with Satanism, alien myths, and other ideas that would have been totally foreign to the real Bavarian Illuminati. And then, of course, Jay-Z and Kanye West are shown doing this, which is a symbol of the Illuminati. If you don't know what I'm doing, if you're on Spotify, 2 hands together with a thumb, so you can just look up a picture if you want. And I guess someone talked to Jay-Z and Kanye West about that. And they both commented that it was stupid and ridiculous. And of course, to conspiracy theorists, that's exactly what a member of the Illuminati would say, right? And now that we're into the celebrity aspect of this, people also believe that lizard people are among us and that lizard people control the world. And they're directly linked with the Illuminati. I don't know if you've heard that conspiracy theory either. That one to me just makes me want to puke. And I guess kind of backtracking a little bit to make it even more weird, during the 20th century, Woodrow Wilson and Winston Churchill both referred to a new world order, and so did Hitler. During World War II, everyone was kind of talking about a new world order just because the entire world was at war, so every one would be a new world order, obviously. It's easy to look at that and link it directly to the Illuminati just because that's what they claim, new world order, and everyone just seems to talk about it over the years in history. And people always wonder why it is so big today and why people still believe in that. And not only is it because of conspiracy theorists and films and movies and books and entertainment in general, because there isn't an actual way to prove it wrong. There's no way to prove that it doesn't exist. There's actual facts about it existing back in Bavaria in 1776, but there is no hard concrete evidence that the world is not ran by reptiles or by a bunch of people who work together. One huge new world order. Because you can make all these preposterous claims, but there's no way to prove it wrong. I mean, maybe if you DNA tested Joe Biden or any of the presidents who have been there and like made sure they were human, I guess, but no one's going to do that. So it's very easy for it to continue. And on the same note, Kanye West recently has been into a lot of heat for things he has said. So I don't want to talk about him too much just because I don't agree with what he's been saying. But stereotypical beliefs of Jews controlling the world are also beliefs of Illuminati believers. And he was also one of the ones seen doing the hand sign. A lot of loopholes that go down, a lot of things that people are saying, but I really don't want to get into that specific side of it just because Kanye West is on some different stuff right now. And hopefully with people starting to understand things more in depth and actually learn about things, it'll be easier for them not to believe everything they read on the internet, and hopefully to have a little bit of self-confirmation bias and not thinking too critically about unverified conspiracy theories. Just a disclaimer out there. But yeah, this podcast is pretty short. There isn't much else to really talk about. There's historical facts and different things that have happened to celebrities over the years, and not just celebrities, but influential people in general. And I think anyone can play into the minds of the people and understand that conspiracy theories are a big deal and everyone likes conspiracy theories. And there's some good, decent evidence here, right? This podcast has sort of turned into a debunking of conspiracy theories in a way. I just like learning about new things. And I did not know this much about the Illuminati previously to this, but it was kind of cool to see the resemblance in it all. I'm just going to exclude Kanye West completely, even though that one can kind of be viewed, I guess, the same way. But there's direct links clear back in 1776 between America and the Illuminati, and between FDR and Hitler. And at the exact same time, with the exact same plan in mind, and just how it all works, I just don't see why they got to hide themselves. Like if the Illuminati came out today and said, we've in fact have existed, we control the entire world, it could be scary, right? They would have the power over all of our money. All my money in my bank would be gone. They would have the power over the entire internet, electricity, literally everything, I guess. And maybe it's another form of trying to keep masses in check. Because if you think back to early civilizations, religion was basically the biggest factor in one's everyday life. For thousands of years, people were either worshiping multiple gods or one singular god. And not to get sacrilegious or anything, but you can view religion as a way to control people, because if you have a bunch of people and you're above them, quote unquote, if you want them to build a gigantic pyramid for you, how else are they going to do it without believing that they'll go somewhere else? They'll go to heaven. Or if they build this pyramid, they will be granted in the afterlife. You know what I mean? Afterlife is a very, very good motivator for people. And until humans actually got smarter and started thinking outside the box a little bit, for a very long time, everyone was controlled. I mean, maybe I'm just thinking a little too outside, right? Maybe it's still the same now. Maybe we're being controlled, because we are controlled by social media. we're controlled by teachers, influencers, literally everything. We still are subconsciously controlled by like ads and everything. TikTok slowly ruining our attention spans. People think that China gave us TikTok just to screw up Americans even more, which could always be a thing. And maybe I just have too big of a heart. I believe in humans way too much, but I really do think world peace could be achieved. That's obviously my goal. I have no idea how to achieve that goal, but I would love for world peace to be achieved. I would love for the entire world to work together and not exactly have countries. I think one giant society of human beings would be very good. I think we'd be on Mars by now. I think we would have solved cancer by now. And so yeah, that was a little bit of a tangent, but the similarities were super cool to look into. I had no idea that's the reason it was on the dollar bill. I just remember back from the meme and hearing it, Illuminati confirmed all the time. I didn't realize it was this big of a conspiracy theory, and celebrities were into it. And because I guess celebrities are people of influence, so they could be introduced. Hopefully, after I post this podcast, I don't suddenly go missing. If you never see a Chillin' with Dylan episode again, I did look up Illuminati on NSA website, so you might as well say goodbye to me now. You might have to send me a DM for good luck before I go missing. Those are complete jokes. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. If you're on YouTube, leave in the comments down below anything else you'd like to hear me talk about. I plan on having a few guests on this podcast soon. A few of my YouTuber friends, I plan to interview them, talk to them, and just have a conversation, see how they're doing on YouTube, maybe if some advice for small YouTubers trying to grow, anyone trying to start a business. And I'm excited for that. And as far as the general theme of the podcast, we're just kind of going with it week by week. We're just going to keep playing it by ear. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I would appreciate if you would follow, subscribe, hit the like button wherever you are, however you are. And don't forget to hit me up on Instagram, DYLANDALTON_. Hit me with some questions you have for me to answer on this podcast. Hit me with some ideas you'd like to hear me talk about, literally anything. I'd be down for it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for chilling with me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.